Hare Krishna. I will sing the Mangalacharana prayers and lead a short kirtan, and then speak about Sri Krishna Janmastami. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sa Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. We shall read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods for Lord Krishna in the Womb. Text 18. Tato Janmangalam Achumtam Samahitam Surasutena Devi Dadara Sarvatmakam Atmabhutam Kastayatanandakaram Manasta. Thereafter, accompanied by plenary expansions, the fully opulent personality of Godhead, who is all auspicious for the entire universe, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki. Devaki, having thus been initiated by Vasudeva, became beautiful by carrying Lord Krishna, the original consciousness for everyone, the cause of all causes, within the core of her heart, just as the East becomes beautiful by carrying the rising moon. purport by Srila Prabhupada. As indicated here by the word manasta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was transferred from the core of Vasudev's mind or heart to the core of the heart of Devaki. We should note carefully that the Lord was transferred to Devaki not by the ordinary way for a human being, but by diksha, initiation. Thus, the importance of initiation is mentioned here. Unless one is initiated by the right person, who always carries within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Godhead within the core of one's own heart. The word achutamsam is used here because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sad Aishwarya Purna, full in the opulences of wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. The Supreme Godhead is never separated from his personal opulences. As stated in the Brahma Samhita 539, Brahmadi Murti Shukalani Amena Tishtan. The Lord is always situated with all his plenary expansions, such as Rama, Nrsimha, and Varaha. Therefore, the word achutamsam is specifically used here, signifying that the Lord is always present with his plenary expansions and opulences. There is no need to think of the Lord artificially as yogis do. Dhyana vastita tadgatena manasa pasyantiyam yogina. Srimad Bhagavatam 12:13:1. Yogis meditate upon the Supreme Person within the mind. For a devotee, however, the Lord is present, and his presence need only be awakened through initiation by a bona fide spiritual master. The Lord did not need to live within the womb of Devaki, for his presence within the core of her heart was sufficient to carry him. One is here forbidden to think that Krishna was begotten by Vasudeva within the womb of Devaki, and that she carried the child within her womb. When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like the glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable and scorching to the common man. The form of the Lord situated in the pure, unalloyed heart of Vasudeva is not different from the original form of Krishna. The appearance of the form of Krishna anywhere, and specifically within the heart, is called Dhamma. Dhamma refers not only to Krishna's form, but to his name, his form, his qualities, and his paraphernalia. Everything becomes manifest simultaneously. Thus, the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full potencies was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, exactly as the setting sun's rays are transferred to the full moon rising in the east. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva. He was beyond the conditions of the ordinary living entity. When Krishna is there, it is to be understood that all his plenary expansions, such as Narayan, and incarnations like Lord Nrsimha and Varaha, are with him. and they are not subject to the conditions of material existence. In this way, Devaki became the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second and the cause of all creation. Devaki became the residence of the Absolute Truth. But because she was within the house of Kamsa, she looked just like a suppressed fire or like misused education. When fire is covered by the walls of a pot or is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge, which does not benefit the people in general, is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kamsa's palace, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Commenting on this verse, Sri Viragava Acharya writes, Vasudeva Devaki Jagatarayor Hridayor Bhagavata Sambandha. The Supreme Lord's entrance into the womb of Devaki from the heart of Vasudeva was a heart-to-heart relationship. Hare Krishna. So we have gathered to remember and celebrate the appearance of Lord Krishna in this world. According to Vedic literature, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is the Absolute Truth, the origin of all that exists. And he is realized in three features, non-dual, Advaya, as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:2-11. Vedanti tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabhyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Brahman is the impersonal effulgence that emanates from the transcendental form of the Lord. Paramatma is the localized feature of the Lord within the heart. And Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna himself, full in 6 opulences. The form of Krishna is not material. Our bodies are material, distinct from the soul, which is spiritual. The Bhagavad Gita 2:13 explains, Dehi nosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dirastatra namuyati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. The soul is a non-physical, non-chemical particle of spiritual energy, and it is the soul that animates the body. As long as the soul is in the body, we say the body is alive. Actually, the body is never alive. The body is just a machine. But it appears to be alive when the soul is present to animate it. And when the soul leaves the body has no capacity to act, to function. And then we say that the body is dead. In conditioned beings, such as us, there is a distinction between the body, which is made of material energy, and the soul, which is composed of spiritual energy. But in the case of Krishna, There is no difference between his body and soul. Being absolute, his body and he are the same. In our case, there is a difference between us and the body, because our real identity is the soul. If someone's father passes away, he or she will cry, "Oh, my father has left, my father is gone." Although the body of the father is there, why do we say, "My father has gone"? Intuitively we know, especially at a time like death, that the body is lying there in the room, but it is not the person. The body is just a bag of chemicals. The real person is the soul who has left the body. And so the children and other relatives and friends cry, "Oh, he's gone," because he's the soul, not the body. But in the case of Krishna, he and his body are not different. He is absolute. There is no difference between his inside and his outside. He is completely spiritual. The Brahma Samhita says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the origin of all, but he himself has no origin. He is the prime cause of all causes. That is Krishna. The living entity is an eternal, fragmental part of Krishna. This is the sublime philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. The inconceivable simultaneous oneness and difference of the living entity and the Supreme Lord. We are one in quality with the Lord, but different in quantity. He is infinite and we are infinitesimal. Because we have the same qualities, we can have a relationship with him. Unless there is some commonness, we cannot have a relationship. And because of the difference in quantity, he is the whole and we are the part, our relationship is one of service. Although in one sense, because the Absolute Truth is non-dual, Advaya, all transcendentalists are the same, still, from an analytical or objective point of view, there are degrees of realization. As stated earlier, Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. Sat means eternal, Chit means cognizant, and Ananda means blissful. The Gyanis who attain impersonal Brahman realize only the Sat feature, eternal existence. The yogis who realize Paramatma have perception of Sat, eternity, and Chit, knowledge, because they apprehend the individuality of the Lord in the heart. And the Bhaktas have full realization of Sat, Chit, and Ananda, eternity, knowledge, and bliss, because real happiness comes from loving relationships. We conditioned souls are rotating in the cycle of repeated birth and death, samsara, and our goal is to gain release from this samsara chakra. Such liberation is called mukti or moksha. The impersonal type of liberation, in which the individual soul merges into the spiritual light, is very hard to achieve, if one can achieve it at all. But even if one does, it doesn't last. Therefore the Bhagavatam says, patantyada, they fall down. Why? Because they have no engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So, why does the Lord descend? He is Satchidananda Vigraha, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. And he lives in his spiritual abode, where everything is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. And he is served by great souls completely free of material contamination, liberated from the material bodies that cause so much pain. So why should the Lord come here at all? What does he have to gain? Personally, he has nothing to gain. But he comes out of his mercy to deliver us. The material world is compared to a prison house, and we conditioned souls are the prisoners. We are restricted like prisoners. We cannot just go anywhere and everywhere, wherever we want. Liberated souls can travel anywhere in the universe. They don't need spaceships or any other such contraptions. They can move about freely, but we are bound. We are not allowed to leave this planet very easily, and even if we do, we don't really have any other place to stay. So we are bound, and we have to suffer. So, why does Krishna come? He comes to reclaim us, his lost children, to bring us back home, back to him. That is why he comes. There is no other reason. There is nothing for him here. He comes only for our sake. Although he comes into the material world, he doesn't come in a physical body. He comes in his original spiritual form, Satchidananda Vigraha. And Krishna, in particular, comes in a form that resembles a human being. Man is made in the image of God. That Krishna comes in a human-like form is very good for us, because it makes it easier for us in human bodies to relate to him. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusam deham astitaha bhajate tadrishi krita yashrutvat tatparo bhavet. Quote, when the Lord assumes a human-like body to show mercy to his devotees, he engages in such pastimes as will attract those who hear about them to become dedicated to him. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-36. He comes to reclaim us and deliver us, his lost children and devotees. And how does he come? He does not take birth like an ordinary human being, by seminal discharge. Rather, he manifests himself, or appears. Ajopi san vyayatma bhutanam ishvaro pisan prakritim swam adishtaya sambhavam yat mamayaya. Although I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Gita 4:6. And that is what we read. It is a very esoteric subject, how the Lord appears, but he chooses a completely purified devotee and enters the mind of that completely purified devotee. The name of the devotee whose mind Krishna entered is given here. After Vasudeva received Krishna within his purified mind or heart, he, by his spiritual power, transferred him into the purified heart of Devaki. There is no seminal discharge, and the process by which the Supreme Personality of Godhead was transferred to the heart of From the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki is called Diksha. Diksha means spiritual initiation. Diksha takes place between teacher or guru and disciple. When the guru is qualified enough, he can carry Krishna within his heart. And when the disciple is qualified enough, he can receive Krishna from the guru through an exchange called Diksha. The process of Diksha is essential for the realization of God, Krishna. We cannot attain Krishna by our own efforts. We have to receive Krishna by the mercy of one who has him. Thus, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, a great spiritual teacher, prays to the pure devotee, Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara sakati ache, amito kangala, Krishna Krishna boli, daya tava pache pache. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I'm simply running behind you shouting, Krishna, Krishna. Sharanagati Ohe Vaishnava Thakur. This act of Diksha, as described in the verse, is really the culmination of a gradual process. We have to work to come to that stage of purity where we can receive Krishna in our hearts. And not just receive him in our hearts, but actually see him face to face. After residing for some time in the heart of Devaki, Krishna came before her, and they saw each other face to face. She saw him face to face, and he saw her. That is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. So we have to qualify ourselves. We have to cleanse the mirror of the heart. Cheto Darpano Marjanam. The process of purification varies from age to age. Although the basic process is the same, Krishna consciousness, in the present age, the specific process recommended is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva, 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 nasteva gatiranishta. One should chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name of Lord Hari Krishna. There is no other means, no other means, no other means for success in this age. Brihad Naradiya Purana 38, 126. Chant is repeated 3 times for emphasis. You must do it, you must do it, you must do it. There was once a cartoon in a newspaper which depicted an elderly man sitting across from his wife. She was requesting him, chant, chant, chant. And he was replying, can't, can't, can't. That is our misfortune. Shastra, scripture, tells us, chant, chant, chant. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama. And for no good reason, just some causeless aversion, we say, not necessarily by our words, but by our behavior, can't, can't, can't. Can't because I'm too busy. Can't because I prefer other things. Can't because. So Harinama, Harinama, Harinama is emphatic. Chant, chant, chant. And Kalo Nasteva, 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 there is no other way, no other way, no other way for success in this age. The process of chanting, Sankirtan, cleanses the heart, Cheto Darpano Marjanam, and makes it a fit place for the Lord to reside. And that is what we have to do to prepare to receive Him. We have to chant. And chanting is pleasant. It is pleasurable. Although the results of Krishna consciousness are the highest, the process is also the easiest and most sublime. It's almost too good to be true, but it is true. Chanting is easy and joyful, and at the same time, it cleanses the heart, Cheto Darpano Marjanam, and makes it a fit place for the Lord to reside. And that process is accomplished through Diksha, the continuing process of Diksha, which culminates in perfect realization of Krishna. And then, when one is fully purified and realized, Krishna can't contain himself within your heart. He becomes so pleased with your service and so eager to see and embrace you that he comes out of your heart. Of course, at the same time, he also stays there. But in his own way, he comes out of your heart to look at you and touch you and embrace you and take you by the hand and invite you to come with him to his eternal abode. That is the perfection of Krishna consciousness, and it is possible for each and every one of us. We just have to make the effort to chant without offense and remain encouraged and steady in that effort. And for that, we need association. In every endeavor, one needs association. Once we become a little serious, once we develop a little faith and attraction, the next stage is to associate with devotees. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. That association will really help us. Chanting is simple, but the real art of chanting is to hear the chanting. So there are different offenses to be avoided when one chants. The main offense is to be inattentive while chanting, and another is to offend devotees. Devotees are our best well-wishers. They give us the holy name. They give us support in our efforts to chant. And if we offend them, we cut ourselves off from our best well-wishers, our best friends, our best support for the chanting. Krishna comes to give us this message. And if from this occasion, Sri Krishna Janmastami, we can just take this message, take it in our heart, that will be the beginning of our perfection. We must take it in our heart and practice it and repeat it to others. Repeat it both for the benefit of others and for our own sake. And the results will be glorious. Krishna's purpose in appearing in this world will be fulfilled, and our purpose as human beings will be fulfilled. And we will all be happy in Krishna consciousness together. Hare Krishna. Happy Sri Krishna Janmastami. Hare Krishna.